As of now, it's looking like it's going to be 3 to 6 inches by the afternoon of Sunday.
Here we go. Here we go, buddy. Oh, there it is. Nice, right?
But what did we say today as our high? Well, we didn't break any records. We were still in those 90s, 92 to be exact.
I don't know what Ryan's doing with his glasses on the outside of his bandana. It will not help the cause at all.
Like today is going to be a pretty great day. Professor Wormy's for sure going to be enjoying it. It's going to be perfect for today, especially because we're going to be seeing that 95.
Well, if you want a little bit more, there's still some on my shirt.
It's in my sleeve, actually. I like my antlers.
I apologize, but at this time of year,
Penny-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Please be cautious out there.
And now, here's your weather forecast with meteorologist Ryan Gold.
We are going to be seeing a lot more of those clouds right now, but eventually they're going to clear on out. We got some more of that drier air coming in from the south, but we do have a low pressure system that's kind of hanging out by us. It is going to end up bringing in a lot more of that rainfall, but not as much as last week. Could be seeing some severe storms as well later on, most likely for Wednesday. Right now, we are seeing a lot more of that warmth, much warmer conditions than we normally see, at least for the mornings. Getting a lot more of that wind coming in, of course, from the east. We will end up seeing that bring down that temperature just a little bit, but we are actually approaching that not going to go down because of wind chill temperature, which is normally in those 50s. So it doesn't matter how hard these winds are going to get, which they will end up getting a lot harder later. It's not really going to bring that wind chill down. You're going to want to hold on to your hats, though, for sure. Not going to have to worry about bad visibility in a lot of places. Laramie, you're going to end up seeing some more of that denser kind of fog. And Cheyenne, you could probably be seeing a little bit of those patchy conditions, too. But the big area really is going to be up in Park County. And even then, it's not really going to be encompassing a lot more of that problem area. It should be pretty great. And on radar, nothing to speak of. And we're not going to be speaking of anything most likely today. It's going to be a lot clearer, at least where rain is concerned. And while we do have a lot more of those clouds coming in, it's not going to be much of a bother. Here comes that low pressure system, and it has been dying as it moved off of that coast and into our area, as it tends to. Right now, it's at a pretty positive tilt, but it's going to be getting kind of negative soon. And once it gets negative, which it's starting to kind of do as we head into Wednesday, it does lead to some very, very severe weather, which at the time that it's going to end up happening, most likely tomorrow in that afternoon and evening hours, it's really only going to encompass a little bit of the sliver of the western portion. That's going to be under slight risk for Wednesday, at least as of now, with marginal kind of expanding in a little bit more along the west. The eastern portion, I should say, is really going to end up seeing a lot more of that problem areas, thunder, lightning, some hail there. As of now, it doesn't look like it's very ideal for tornadoes, but as we get closer, we'll know a lot more for sure. We do look like we're going to be under general risk, potentially getting into that marginal zone if this actually gets more negative as we continue on. But it does look like that's the pattern that's going to end up becoming now, with a lot more of that hotter air mixing in with that colder air, creating that kind of instability. We will end up having a lot more of that bad conditions with that stationary front. Luckily, it does not blow on through us, and it won't until later on for Wednesday. The cold front is pretty much here, and it'll sweep on into the east, cooling us off a lot more, bringing temperatures down, kind of crashing these temperatures actually, considering that we were seeing such great conditions yesterday and will continue to for today and also for tomorrow. That record, that's going to be an 88. Let's see if we can reach it. Explosions in space, the quintessential part of any sci-fi movie, but is it based in reality? For years, movies and TV shows like Star Wars and Star Trek thrived on starship battles and the occasional planetary decimation. These ended in spectacular fire and ear-splitting sound, but in reality, that's simply just not how it happens.
The explosion itself would actually be very brief. So what do you need to have an explosion? Well, an explosion, if you think of it as just being a very fast burning of some fuel. To burn a fuel, you have to have an oxidizer, such as oxygen, of course. So fuel oxidizer, which, interestingly enough, is what you need to have a rocket function in space. So you have an explosion, something starts burning very, very quickly. It is an explosion. What does it look like? It's going to be a very bright flash of energy, which is being released as visible light, of course. So you see the flash, And then once the oxygen or the fuel is burned up, it goes out.
Oxygen. That's the simple thing. Food for fire. While there are so many factors responsible for explosions, the main variable always comes back to oxygen. And that brings us to space, the enormous vacuum.
When you remove oxygen, you lose your ability to burn. So what we did is we put the candle under a glass jar. While the candle was burning, it consumed the oxygen under the glass jar, thus extinguishing itself, which is kind of replicating space, but we have gravity at play here. We don't have 0 G's. But that's kind of the idea as to what would happen in space. There is no oxygen to allow a flame to burn.
While stars have an almost unlimited supply of food, ships do not. Even planetary bodies, once their atmosphere is gone, lose their fire fuel too. No constant source, no big explosion. Maybe it's for the best. I would rather keep my explosions on the big screen anyway.